welcome back. Today I'm excited to share with you the journey and the technical intricacies of my project. As I progressed, it became evident that separating my admin user from the general user data would enhance the user experience and overall the administrative tasks. So here's my backend architecture. Initially, I faced multiple challenges, especially around data management with Firebase. But as I went deeper into the documentation, the path became clearer, and I decided to split my backend into three main segments. So the main app, this is a full stack application that mainly interacts with Firebase serverless database. This is where all the main interactions from the primary user will occur. Then I have a second app called Admin Dashboard, where I have two smaller apps, one that is the front end and the other the back end. So for this app, I aimed just to fetch all the data from the Firebase database into the MongoDB using, of course, Mongoose. So the front end mainly focuses on the user interface from the administrators. Now the backend segment is purely dedicated for data fetching and handling, particularly synchronizing, as I mentioned before, the Firebase data with the MongoDB. Dive deeply into the code. In here we have routes.js. This code defines this set of routes focusing on the data synchronization and transaction retrieval. Of course, we have the initial setup, then we have the synchronization endpoint. So this route triggers data synchronization when accessed via the GET request. Then the sync with Mongo function is called to handle the synchronization process. Then the transaction retrieval endpoint is a route that when accessed via a GET request fetches all transactions records. Then the transaction.find function retrieves all transaction entries from the MongoDB database. Now the server.js is there to initialize the Express.js web server with MongoDB. In here, an Express application instance is created, and then we enabled CORS to allow requests from any domain. And the middleware is set up to parse JSON requests. Then the custom routes previously defined are used for endpoints that start with API. Then the server tries to connect to MongoDB instance. Then if everything is correct, the server is initialized on port 3001. Lastly, we'll go into Sync.js. Here it's important to note that the Firebase admin SDK is imported, which without these credentials, we wouldn't be able to access that data. And we are importing as well the Mongoose to handle MongoDB interactions. Then all the data is fetched from Firebase. Then all the data is collected into all transactions array, including the user's ID. Then all the data is synchronized with MongoDB, and then each transaction is checked if it already exists in the database, and if not, then a new document is created in MongoDB. Tested really quickly. So we are going to run node server JS. So see, we had the server is running in port 3001, then synchronization completed, and then in here we have all the info that we requested from the Firebase, which is this, and we can see it clearly in here as well.